calmer facilitating style with the Viego as well, go for those early skirmishes. It's unlikely we see that being picked up as much as we've seen before. But yeah, Kalista, no surprise to see that as well. For Smiley, very prominent player. Him alongside Inax have been two of the more impressive Kalista players I think we've seen in the league, alongside obviously Exakick as well.
I wonder Ronaldo when he sees the Corki, are you just straight up thinking, all right, I'm going straight to Silas Akali here. I'm going to run you down in lane and look for kill pressure? Or are you looking for the approach of, oh, we can try and get bot lane player prior. Let's play Belvith in the jungle and try and make things move around from there. But, I mean, you've highlighted so many times already. Well, nope, we didn't go that way. We'll go back to the Ronaldo Akali. So it is just a straight up answer into the Corki from his side. And now you're put in this position where you kind of have to either pick an Aerial or a Misfortune for Reckless that we so often see. Or you kind of have to go and pick a support while you can still have Leona options, for example, into the Rakan or Braum or anything else where you want to disengage or deal with some of it. Braum actually a horrible pick into Rakan. Don't do that. Leona is definitely what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, completely.
Oh, okay.
And this is obviously the center pick. I think it's a champion that's very strong on the patch right now. We haven't actually seen it as much as I would have been expecting. You see, obviously, there's a very interesting draft I saw. I believe it was in the LCS. Sorry to bring up LCS, guys. I know, big joke. But anyway, they play. I think Golden Guardians played a Senna Yasuo lane, and we're starting to see more and more some of these like kind of interesting combinations come out a little bit. Is there any kind of is there any room for creativity you feel like in what Karmine Corp have done so far?
Seraphine, Senna Seraphine. Where's the Seraphine? Yeah. We just completely... Where the hell has that champion been actually in this entire draft phase? Senna Seraphine, you have to ban it away. It's such a disgusting potent composition. Now, ever since Senna had the buffs where her Qs throws out a slow, that means that you can slow them. Seraphine throws the E, all of a sudden it's a root. Yeah, there you have it. You have to do this. Like, you cannot let this combo come out. It's way too potent. Other things we could see as well, just Fury crafting. The Swain is something that'd be alright to have as well, if you want to opt in for some more of the AP routing. There's also the likes of, I guess, Rumblers or Wukong as well, but Wukong obviously banned, so that's not going to be an option. I think the real takeaway for this with Senna is that your options in the bot lane is almost unlimited. You can pair her up with almost anything if you have fasting Senna. So it's really just whatever combos you have thought out. Even Sion is fine in this regard.
Yeah, I think Sion would be a completely fair blind here. Obviously, with that Gnar taking off the table, it's one of the more kind of profitable blinds you can go for. I think taking that Gangplank away from Cabo Shard, he's shown that he, much like any other Gangplank in the league, with some of these carries, able to pick it into a lot of different matchups. With this blind here, would expect it to be, support here and then play for Cabo Shard on R5. TK with, obviously, the Seraphine getting taken away. I can understand why they'd go for this.
So I think there's always been a big misconception ever since TK Senna became a lane again. Both of them was reworked a little bit and tweaked a little bit. Senna, it was more beneficiary for her, but from the side of Tahm Kench, he became, way more of a engaging champion than actually peeling in the laning phase. And we don't actually get the Tahm Kench. It will be the Swain that we just shortly talked about a little bit earlier, which does apply loads of kill pressure. The base damage from Swain in the bot lane against a lot of squishies, you don't want to be messing with that. Smiley's going to have his work cut out for him in terms of dodging these skill shots.
That is going to be the Diana that comes through for the jungle position. Interestingly enough, a lot of what I've been seeing from Diana nowadays is you don't go for the standard build, you go for the rocket belt. Normally, you go actually see a lot of them go for the Sunfire because of the durability, because now less so with these AP assassins. It's not about going in and blowing up. It's about your sustained damage you can do with the Conqueror. You look very confused with the final pick here.
Well, of course, I think we have...
Understandably so.
We have Tristana probably is the one I'm thinking going in the mid lane. You have a Kali up and towards the top side of the map. So you at least can try and hover that. My main concern with the Go draft right now is you have a lot of lanes that likes getting ahead, but you can only play for so many, and your jungler is not facilitating before level 6 either, whereas 113 in the Sinsao will be able to leave his impact if, for example, Nuke goes for the Ignite Teleport and doesn't have the flash. If your bot lane gets caught by and never move down towards the bottom lane as well. I think Go has to be very precise with their early movement. We've already said it before. They like picking mechanically requiring composition.
Onto the Rift now for our fourth game of the day, Gould board. Karmine Corp take on Go. It is a middle-of-the-table affair for both of these teams. Looking, well, for Go, looking to equal up their win-loss ratio and move even with Karmine Corp on the standings. They're playing at the bottom half of the playoffs contention, looking to secure themselves in that way. And Karmine Corp have drafted, like you said, Goulburg, is a composition that can be allowed to scale up in contrast to what you'd imagine seeing from a Xin Zhao and a Renekton. And Go have got the more mechanically difficult to execute comp.
Here's the thing, if GoFire falls behind in the first 15 minutes, I'm ready to rule the game out and just be like, you know what, it's almost over, boys. You're against Senna, you're against Corki, you have Swain as well. There's so many champions you're going to have to cut through. 3 soul stacking for Reckless in the early game, we love to see it. Picked up a few gold as well from the Sickle. It's not much, but it's 100 gold lead to Karmine Corp just off that. Well, it's not really 100, I think it's rounding up.
It's not much, but it's honest work for Reckless as he does pick up those extra souls. I think we wanted to bring a highlight. You talked about how so many of these matchups are just very skill expressive in their nature. We just had a look there at the Renekton versus the Akali. How do you see that kind of unfolding? Renekton, obviously kind of a staple champion, I believe, for Cabochard.
With the first few levels, Renekton can take charge. We want to see Cabo zone nuke you away just a little bit, just due to the fact that the 5-point strike, Q of Akali, because so much energy in the early game, it is difficult for her to really come through with a lot of that damage. You can even see Cabochard, he's gone for the press the attack, so he can legit just walk up and take the early trades and just win them straight up against the Akali.
Yeah, you can see he gets that bone playing out from New Q. He's just going so aggressively here. He knows the matchup. Gets that Q, PTA like you said. And so when does this matchup start to shift a little bit more in favor of New Q? Because obviously we talked about, you know, Akali very known for that level 6 mark. Is that really something where the tides can be turned? Obviously has that Ignite in tow as well.
It's going to take a little bit. I think when you finally have 5 points in your Q as well, that's really where you get majority out of the matchup as well. You get more kiting flexibility around the Renekton. Kite out the slice and dice, and perfect time to move into the mid lane. Corki, while being an AD champion, of course, he doesn't get too much push priority actually. Your Q doesn't do too much on the lane, E either, not before you put a few more points into it. While Tristana, you just start E, you throw that on the minion wave and just automatically you have a push coming in. So mid lane priority for Ronaldo quite even, and down towards the bottom side of the map, it's going to be Smiley and Vignorum favored. There's no question about that, but it's not like something Hantera or Reckless is really going to care too much about. For them, it's just all about the scaling. They don't want to win the laning phase, they want to win the game instead.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always going to have your eyes on that Nexus, understandably, and it's just about weathering the storm. As you said, Gulborg, one of the things you brought attention to in the kind of opening minutes of this is a bit of a timer, I think it's fair to say, for Go. Kind of have to get these things done in the early 10 to 15 minutes. You see engaged onto Reckless here. Smiley tries to find a little bit of damage with the Rend here. He's trying to operate with the minions in tandem and co. But he's not able to find too much of a beneficial trade there.
And actually interesting to see that 113 and Cabochard haven't synced up here. I think for sure 113 should have skipped some cans and should have just been up here for a dive. I think New Q should have been dead in this instant. Level 2 probably didn't have the Shroud yet either, so I think they missed a window there on the side of Karmine Corp. But either way, it's still Cabochard pressing forward in the lane and taking charge. I think there might even be a slow push building forward now that 113 can look to utilize if we take a look at the top side.
It's going to be Kareem. Gets his first Rift Scuttle of the game. He's going to be traded off for 113. Not much going to be done on the top side. That wave is pushing in favor of Renekton. You can see 113 just going to set up a little ward here. Gets to see that second rotation of camps. And obviously Kareem has done the same off to the other side as well. Yeah,
so New Q trying to go forward here. Remember, no flash, but does have that Shuriken flip, I do believe. But it's still not a decent situation. If you take a look at the wave state right now, there's more well, no, there's actually not. Never mind. It's still even. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. It could have been way worse.
Definitely could have been way worse, but things going relatively even so far in this game. You see, like you say, Ronaldo pushing in these waves continuously. Gets that pro in the mid lane. Gonna get a ward out as well, and I feel like both junglers kind of hard pressed so far. 113 has a... Well, Kareem has a really good window here, actually. The roaming come from Ronaldo as well. Ignite has been burned onto Cabochard. And they're just not able to find it. And Karmine Corp, Cabochard does a really good job of dodging out from here. It was a good roam timer, set from the priority in the mid lane. And it's a little bit of time that's lost from Kareem in terms of his clear. It's going to mean that 113 is a little bit further ahead now.
It's going to give some breathing room, and quite honestly, it was a decent window to look for. I think, once again, with the Tristana from Ronaldo, every time you push the Corki in, you want to make something happen. You know, my favorite part of shutting a Corki down is always having a champion that get agency in terms of killing it together on the 2v2 lane. But having the Diana, you don't get that same kind of power before she really hits the level 6. So for now, Corki is still going to be fine under the tower, and Ronaldo can really only look for plays in side lanes instead of skirmishing on 113. But so far, they had one window on top lane, and it just got some extra breathing room from Nuke. But you can see as soon as Cabochard is back, well, the lane is getting pushed in again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just getting that incremental lead in the early game, as we spoke about. That matchup very much going in the favor of Renekton so far, and that's been the story that's unfolded. HCS now, going to get a little ward out as well. Get a little bit of vision. should be rather obvious where Diana is. Both junglers pair off on opposite sides. I feel like 113 needs to have a little bit more impact in this top lane, because obviously Kareem is going to be, you know, popping towards these dragons, getting that side of the map active.
Well, it's going to be more difficult finding a kill on towards the Akali now. She has got that perfect execution, so now she's all slippery little bastard in that top lane. Still haven't backed yet, so Nuki's going to recall. He's going to TP up, come back with whatever he's going to be shoving. And in the meantime, Karim setting his team at least on a timer here with the first Drake being picked up. It is going to be the Hex Drake. Make sure attack speed and ability haste might just be the best Drake a Diana can ever ask for.
This could be a 4-man dive in the bot side here. 113 is coming off a reset. They're going to look for this. There's no ultimate available. Teleport does come out. They need to go quickly if they're going to go. Wagner takes quite a lot of damage from the turret. Saken's here, though. He's going to be getting the teleport out from Saken, but it's all that's really written here. I feel like this is the kind of proactivity I'm liking from Go here. Ronaldo. 113 gets engaged on. He's trying to find the 3 huge strike here. Has flash forwards. First blood for Saken. First blood for Xin Zhao, actually. 2v2 kill in the bot side as well as Smiley. Finds a kill onto Hantera. 113, one more W will do it. Kareem's not going to have that W available for too much longer.
Hey, what? That doesn't hit?
That looked like it hit. Oh my god.
Okay, so that's the classic high ground, low ground that we have in League. If you're not familiar with it, there is lower grounds of the map and there's higher grounds of the map. 113 was standing in the river, which is a higher ground, and Kareem was standing up towards the top side or in the mid lane, which is higher ground as to the lower ground in river, and therefore it looked like that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a phenomenon. I actually found out about that through a it's like a Vega RV2 video like four years ago, and I'd never understood that before. But yeah, nice bit of education for the viewers, obviously. And it's going to be Karmine Corp that find the first blood there. Very good for them.
Getting it over
Kill
to
onto
113.
Zinzao.
You asked
Yeah,
for proactivity, you got a little bit there, so at least that's something. Take a look at the minimap rotations though, coming through. Hantera still down towards the bottom side, he's the farmer, but up towards the top side. Reckless is now the one making his move. As the rest, Karmine Corp are coming out the gates. Still level 5, Ronaldo level 7. It's the name.
Ooh, Wagnerum. Tries to find engage, he's going to get stunned up instead by Reckless. And this Rift Herald is what I can imagine is going to be played from this point onwards.
At least how it looks like it should be Karmine favored due to the fact that Hantera is going to have the first move. You can see it in the minimap. He's currently clearing out of water Drake Pit, and that's going to bring some uncertainty in the head of Go as well. Is he still moving up? Is he currently just down towards the bottom lane? They don't know, and that's why they're not phase shaking immediately. But now they're tempting fate just a little bit, and they're setting Smiley up.
Yeah, Smiley's going to be coming in through the mid lane here. See no level 6 available. Cabashot flashes forward, and they found Kareem almost immediately here. Wagnerum going to get taken very low as well. That's a W from Senna onto Nuki. He has to ult out here. And this was really good. Cabashot recognizes the window that Smiley was walking up here. Flash forward, finds the engage. It's going to mean the Rift Herald goes the way of Karmine Corp with no questions asked.
So much is gained here. You get the Rift Herald, you get the kill, and down towards the bottom lane, Hantara never went up, so he's actually shoving in a wave right now. That means Smiley is just going to be losing a little bit at least, and the tempo advantage is going to be in Hantara's favor. Lots gone right there for Karmine Corp, and everything gone wrong for Go.
The ball definitely in the court of Karmine Corp here. And they've taken it and capitalized on it. You can see that lane really starting to go more and more so in the favor of Cabashot. We're beyond the early levels now. Rotation comes in from Corki, Saken and Reckless. We'll try and take down. W is available for New Q. He's got to buy his time now. He's used it now, and this should be a simple routine dive here without any flash available, without the ultimate available either. Can you dodge out from the missiles? It's going to be a bombardment. Cabashot takes that for himself here, and Karmine Corp continue to capitalize on that Rift Herald play that happened previously.
This game is definitely going to up Reckless kill participation with how he's usually left on an island in bot, so Hantara can roam. This time around, he's the one picking up the mantle. They're trying to cross-map it on the top side of the map. They have a Herald, though, if they want to deploy it. Looks like they won't, and they want to just get the research through. And instead, try and come down towards Smiley, stop him from picking up a complete turret by himself.
Yeah, completely. 1-1-3, a little bit late on the map here. We'll see the play set up there was 4-man. Get that vision set up on the bot side. Get a little bit of damage onto this turret now, but now it's 1-1-3's turn to respond on the map with that Rift Herald. You can only expect with so many plates to play for, obviously 5 in the mid, 5 in the bot side. There's a lot of gold to be garnered in the next 4 minutes for Karmine Corp. Further bolster forward that 1.9k gold lead they have right now.
Very early Mythics has come through now as well. 113 and Capo Shot already 10 minutes into the game, sitting on a gold drinker. 113 itemized as well in runes. Of course, with the boots. So really efficient here. Extra movement speed. Mythic completed immediately. And now you can just start looking for attention or pressure around the Drake. Karim might get caught. Might die.
Karim might be getting caught out here. Uses that Moonfall. It's going to be 113. Picks up his second kill of the game now. Vignerum as well. 113 just on the aggressive here. Smiley's going in here. 113 might have gone a little bit too far. But flash forward with that third Q. It's great from 113. Smiley has to do a lot to get away here. W from Swain. Bates call. Taken up the side. Here comes the package. One more R. Vignerum needs to block this out here. Taken. And he finds his target true, and it's a further 2 kills for Karmine Corp. They're starting to run over this game, Goldborg.
He shoots, and he does not miss. Seiken, brilliant package, coming in from the mid lane and picks up the kill. Now down towards the bottom side. 11 minutes into the game. Is this where you drop the Rift Herald? Take an entire turret for yourself immediately. And yes, there we have it. 113 deploys it. You can look towards the Drake afterwards if you're going to stop distracting from Go. But great productivity coming through from Karmine Corp. Definitely beating their demons of their 0-2 week they had last week.
And I think it's important to bring note to the fact that the creator of a lot of these demons, the creator of a lot of these deficits in this game, been a very focal point of a lot of criticism towards Karmine Corp this season. It's 113 that is really just starting to find a lot of proactivity, find these exchanges here. Look, he goes in for the engage and you think, oh, is this the classic 113? Has he gone too aggressively? Has that third Q primed, flash forward, get Smiley, and this just buys just enough time. Seiken comes over the wall here with this package. It's the long engage.
That's beautiful.
Gets that final rocket after he kills Vignerum as well.
Pixel perfect package. Literally just got over the last wall there. He could have been really awkwardly stuck behind it, but Seiken finds the correct placement and has another Valkyrie accessible afterwards. All in all from Karmine Corp, great teamwork, and they're finally looking like a team. And you said it, 113. At shaky performances this time around, you asked the question, did he go too far forward? I ask you again, was he forward enough? Because he found the kill afterwards with the aggression. Really nicely played between all the Karmine Corp boys.
Absolutely. And yeah, really nice turn of affairs for 113. Obviously a very, very young player still, a lot to learn. Surrounded by such veteran experience. It's good to see him have a show-off performance now. 83% kill participation. Not quite as much as Reckless, who's been pretty omnipotent and omnipresent on the map in terms of what he's been providing, but still, good turnaround for the boy.
Yeah, 100% KP from Reckless. Important to notice as well. He's in a when he's playing center.
Vignerum, flash forward. Ultimate from 113 is going to dissuade the engage somewhat so far. Kareem has that ultimate available. They're using it onto 113, but he's gone in further aggressively with that Gore Drinker. He just does not care. But he is going to drop. It's the shutdown that goes the way of Kareem. And what looked like it could have been a very good fight. Nuku's off to the side here with a good flank. This could be a fight that's played out under the tier 1.
Flashes.
You going in here, target.
Oh, that's great.
Onto Reckless. It's great. R2 from Nuku, and Go find a turnaround fight here. I'm going to get the tier 1 mid as well.
And there you have it. Quite quickly, the duality of 113. Find the over-aggression down towards the bottom side. Picked up 2 kills. Tries to go for the same play in mid lane, but finds himself at a man disadvantage. And immediately Go, they capitalize on it. Nuku in the extended fight afterwards around the turret finds the perfect shuriken flip and snipes Reckless out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think important to note, though, is that although a beneficial fight was found for Go, Cabochard is going to shove in those 2 waves, get that tier 1, and he continues to be a level up. 47 CS or so, I believe, as well, if my maths is correct, ahead. He's gotten himself quite a big advantage on this Renekton. Obviously, going to get to a point where that Renekton becomes less and less useful as time goes on, but for the very moment, a titanic presence on the map.
I do love seeing as well is when Renekton goes towards the Gargoyle Stoneplace as a third item, really becoming more of a tank and a great frontliner for the backline you have. Remember, you have a Corki, you have a center. There are loads of ranged champions to play for too. But Siege continues, Cabochard's on the top side, rest of Karmine Corp in the mid lane. Go with the spawn down towards the bottom lane. Probably Smiley picking up the second turret down there. Still very much competitive, but gold lead for sure in the favor of Karmine Corp, no questions.
Definitely. You can see them encircling this mid lane turret. They really do have their eyes set on that. It's their next objective for them outside of this Rift Herald. And as soon as they find that they're not able to quite rattle down on the doors of that, they have turned towards it. And you can see Smiley continually pushing in the bot side. They're going to get this mid bot prio, set up some vision in the bot side jungle.
They pick up the Rift Hell, though. That's going to be great for either opening up the mid lane or accelerating on a side lane turret. And there's two things you gain by this, right? Opening the mid lane obviously gives you more access to the side lane afterwards when you can push your enemy further behind from the lane. That's the easiest to rotate around the map in. But there's also the side lane win condition. Well, it's not really a win con, but the favoritism of that, which is that these tier 2 turrets in top lane and bot lane gives you 600 gold. So obviously also a big investment you can pick up there.
Yeah, definitely. This is such a massive gold injection if you're able to pick those up for yourselves. Nuke, we've seen him quite a lot of times on this Akali, and unfortunately he's not been able to find that kind of equal lane position that we've seen him get against some of these other... But he's a guy that in these fights, and we saw that in the previous fight, he's known for flanks. Just in these kind of, the flanks in these kind of dragon fights, he operates as that front-forward phalanx that can really just unsettle the backline and just do what Akali needs to do in a lot of these scenarios. And I think what's dangerous about this pick for Go a lot of the times when they pick it is Nuke might not even be the best Akali player on the roster. I think Ronaldo is even better at the champion.
It's the old Beatles quote. He's not even the best drummer in the band. Yeah. But moving forward to this one, Mountain Drake, of course, is going to be the Drake we have on the cards for a potential soul. And as we have a look at the posturing right now, Jake, it looks like both teams want to fight for this one. This already, 16 minutes into the game, could be game-defining. Remember, Go had a team composition that wanted to get ahead early. If they falter now in a team fight against Senna and Corki, this might just be the game right here.
This is not who you want to try and find a pick on with the ultimate available, with the flash. This is so many resources being expended for Cabochard. Champion with that Gore Drinker, with that Mercury's Treads as well, so you know he's going to be able to avoid a lot of CC. Has the ultimate available. This is going to be flashing out here. Now Karmine Corp in a position where they've just gone on to the tier 1. They're going to get tier 2 as well, and this is just really poor macro play from Go here.
They're gonna might even get a third crash unless Nuki has got something to say about it. Karmine Corp, they decide to back off. They know the Drake is still there. They have to package. And 1-1-3's looking.
Oh, Senna all over the wall is going to eviscerate Kareem. And Smiley and Yuku try and take out Hantera on this Swain. But they're not going to be able to do anything about that. It's going to be a Nuki on the Akali gets taken out. And they've got their pick of the map right now. I like the fact that you see multiple members of Karmine Corp start to move into this topside jungle, starve out those resources. You don't need multiple members to go towards this dragon with the way the map is laid out now. And it's going to be Corki and Senna sharing out at least the souls, but it's going to be most of the camps going the way of Corki. And Karmine Corp, I think this game has been blown open now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been blown all the way over in their favor. If they throw this game right now, something is surely wrong. 5k up, Corki, Senna, side lane control as well. Every single lane is ahead right now, and there's barely any scaling aspect on Ghost team compared to what we're seeing on Karmine Corp. This is going to be difficult. What we want to see now instead then is Reckless and the rest of Karmine Corp cleanly but surely taking care of this game without having too many hiccups in it. But here we have it. Go. They're looking for a teleport.
That's a Tristana. That's Ronaldo and Yuki off to the side here. Kareem might have gone a bit too early here. This is going to stop any sort of engage. Smiley has to flash out here. Ronaldo off to the side. Vigram goes in with the greatness. He flashes over the wall now, but he gets taken down almost immediately. Cabochard goes low. Nuku's into the backline now. He needs to do a lot with this W. He needs to try and find Seiken. Ronaldo has taken out Reckless as well here. And although it looked terrible by Kareem going in so early here, we spoke about these hiccups, and that's a big gulp of disaster for Karmine Corp as 3 of their members get taken out here, and potentially a tier 1 as well.
4 versus 5, 1-1-3, not part of the play. Not sure what happened there. It was a close fight, and I feel like he would have been the difference maker, but Karmine Corp, they slip up, and how many times do we have to see this? In a game we had just said, well, should be no way you messed this up, right? You have priority in every lane, but still, Go, they find a fight that works out for them, although it doesn't seem like it started like that. Kareem immediately blown up, and I think that might just be the call where Karmine Corp say, you know what, 1-1-3, you don't need to join us. We're 4 versus 4. We should win out on it. But this is where it becomes so difficult. Nuke creates so much space for his team, and Tara gets picked off on towards the side, and when you have an Akali in a Shroud with 2 AD carries who can't attack her, well, all of a sudden, Ronaldo see his marks to jump in, find the kill, and the clean up together with Nuke.
Absolutely there, and he's able to find a few kills. We spoke about this before, Gorbor. It's something I wanted to bring up. We didn't quite get to talk about it too much. Actually, it's going to be 1-1-3 gets taken out. Sorry, Smiley gets taken out there by the Corki at the end of that. It's a little bit of a fight that we might have missed the last few seconds of. It's a trade-off, definitely. But this is something we start to see a lot more from Diana's on this durability patch. I feel like there's been a shift in terms of kind of general opinions of how AP assassins should be played. You see a lot of them go for this Sunfire capes, you know, items like these. where it's because you realize you don't really necessarily have the damage anymore in contrast to like a lot of the durability that's been granted to a lot of these champions. So you do go for the extended damage over time, get that little bit of extra HP, and Diana's building towards that Sunfire Cape right now.
My philosophy is that it works very well in solo queue, especially if you can get a lead. But if you're going to pick a champion where you want to build Sunfire, pick a champion that actually has CC set up and, you know, is a tank and a team fighter, because I think it brings you way more in a competitive state, where Karim, he's going to jump in, and most of the time, he's not going to be able to leave the mark that you would on other champions like a Zac, for example, we've seen earlier today as well.
Yeah, definitely. Team champ, yeah. It's been very interesting to see that Zac earlier. It's not really a champion we see. I'm starting to see... I feel like we're starting to see this week especially just some more champions that we haven't necessarily seen before. The LFL is really ramping up in terms of their kind of creativity in some of the champions that we're seeing, and that's definitely the case now. Tristana mid, not something we've seen in a while. I feel like Diana kind of fallen off the pale in terms of a lot of the champions we've seen. New Q, stunned off. Wagner's in with the quickness. Doesn't have the flash available from the previous exchange. Not going to quite get Reckless. Does charm him out from the last second. Reckless gets taken out. Ronaldo with the reset goes forward. Tintao ultimate is very good from 113 to dissuade the engage thus far, but...
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Go, they find another one. Triple kill, jungler dead, Baron on the cards. Jake, how does this happen?
I just don't know. I feel like Karmine Corp was in such a good position in terms of what they were doing on the map. It was really the onus was on Go to kind of do anything. Karmine Corp could just sit back and wait and scale up. Cabashard going to be able to do a lot here with that ultimate.
Okay, that's
Swain
one.
finds that. He's ignited, so he's not getting a lot of healing out from this Smiley. Doing so much damage with the Ren. One more auto will do it. Take out Hantera as well on the Swain. Hantera, so much healing. He takes out Rakan as well. He's healing so much, and I feel like Karmine Corp, they've stopped the Baron here, but it's definitely a few more kills that go the way of Go now.
Oh my word, I can't believe they actually managed to disrupt that Baron from coming through. They traded 2 for 2, which all in all, considering the circumstances for Karmine Corp, that's quite worth it. But finding themselves in that situation to begin with from the game state they had, unreal. But once again, lots of it comes from UQ on Diacalo and Ronaldo to back it off. We've said it so many times. Go. They're a team who likes to draft unorthodox. They're a team who likes to play with mechanics rather than the brain at times. And this is definitely where we see it pay off. But coming into this fighter game, Caposhot, he just started. They blow up a target. It's clean.
Absolutely. And Tristana gets taken out almost immediately here, and you really feel like he's the person that has to be doing a lot of damage here, sustained. Smiley does a good job, jumping around, flitting around, gets Hantera out. Unfortunately, Wagner gets taken out as well. I feel like, you know, one more member, if this fight went slightly better, it wouldn't have been enough to stop the Baron, but obviously with only 2 members, with Senna coming up on the map as well, would have been a bit too difficult, would have been a bit too much to ask here. Go, New Q's going to have a teleport to help him out here. 113 goes rather aggressively onto him, doing a lot of damage though. New Q's back in though, R1.
Oh, Seiken.
Oh, Seiken with a very good R. If that R2 went off and there was no triumph for 113, he was at the very least dead. Package comes in from Seiken as well. And this should be the Dragon just going very easily the way of Karmine Corp here. You saw New Q off to the side there, wanted to make the hero play. Quickness in from Vigram though, he might have something to say about it. Cabashot operating as such a beefy front line here. They've avoided so much of that primary engage now. This is not Go's fight to really have any say in right now. Just give that Dragon over. Move towards the next one, Keckless. Tries to find an engage here. Kareem can't do much here. Cabashot blows up 2 for a double kill. Smiley gets 113. Hantera. Smiley dodging around here, doing so much in terms of dodging out that initial CC. New Q's teleporting off the side. Flash forward from Smiley. Cabashot finds that W. Smiley gets taken in, and New Q is not going to have that R1, R2 to do anything here. It's another Dragon that goes the way of Karmine Corp.
And the fight as well afterwards. Well, I'm not too sure. It was a split fight, and you feel like it could have gone either way, but the game between Go and Karmine Corp, it is bloody and will continue to be described as such. As Go, they're not slowing down whatsoever. They want to keep it in 5th gear, and you can see it from the team fighting, but Karmine Corp, they hold on, and Caposhot, crucial double kill comes through, crucial stun onto Smiley as well, as he would have ran rampant into that fight.
Absolutely, and now that Cabashard is at that almost that 3-item spot now, he's got so much kind of stopping power against the magic damage that's being put out from Go. And you almost thought from this point onwards, once that quickness is not available anymore, so difficult for them to really get into this fight, but it was Smiley that really got this one starting out here. It's Kareem engage initially, then Smiley just flits and dances around here. He's just so able to navigate his way in this fight, and it almost is enough for Karmine. It is almost enough for Go to really press go here and get involved here. He dodges
This is
out.
where it looks so good. I think you dodge it out there and you don't take that one moment there where you stood still, but you use that one to go forward. You wouldn't have to go for the flash. Obviously, Smiley would have had to play it perfect, and he makes one small mistake, but that one small mistake is the difference of the play.
Absolutely. Such small margins being operated under. You can see Reckless still so close to being 100% kill participation. Dropped a little bit off the ball there, obviously getting taken out in quite a few of these extended trades, unfortunately. Karmine Corp still in a relatively good position, obviously, now with the soul point.
Yeah, I think they're in a position where, you know, they can still, as well from the map state and who they are currently with their items, 3 items on Sake can easily gain mid lane priority. Not many are going to stop them from that. The problem from Karmine Corp is when they get engaged on without knowing, like now.
Other shard. No Ignite is available, so he's going to have a lot of healing. He walks away from that, having just burnt the ult. It's going to give him, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for him to navigate these team fights, but he's able to walk away from that.
Yeah, 1-1-3 almost baited in there. Fall for it this time around though. Kareem looking for a tower, no flash, and they know that. Timers are being timed, of course.
Definitely, and Kareem's been able to find some good ladder engages. Vigno goes in, and that's not a good engage whatsoever. New Q couldn't find the Shuriken flip onto Hantera. Hantera goes low. A lot of center healing. New Q's done it. Has to walk his way out now, but can't quite do it. Rakan gets taken out as well. 1-1-3. Kareem flashes away after the ult.
Look at Smiley
again. Time and time again having to be the one to pick up the pieces. 2 kills apiece for both sides now, but Karmine Corp are the ones on the front foot here. It is go on the back pedal. We're going to get in this mid priority in.
Yeah, and majority of the members from Go now looking down towards the bottom lane. Kareem looking for a reset. Ronaldo looking for the farm. And there actually was a window where Karmine Corp could have tried and pushed forward for the turret. But, of course, didn't have the same intel as we did. Of course, having the entire minimap for our very use. They're going to go up towards the top side. They're going to clear out the camps. They're going to let Seiken clean up the top side. And they're just going to go out, get ready to posture for the next objective, which surely should be the soul, potentially, for Karmine Corp.
Should be. Only about a minute away from it now. It feels like so much time has passed since that last dragon now. We're still in the same position. We're still in the position whereby Go are going to have to face down that. With so much of their composition, I feel like being gained or garnered around that burst. New Q, Kareem, also Ronaldo as well, a lot of that initial damage. A Mountain Soul will really just be a massive deterrent in the face of what their composition wants to do.
Yeah, of course, it's really annoying, especially if you get to stack 3 on it. You end up, well, 1 Mountain Drake, I think it's 4, and then it's 8, then it's 12%. That's quite a lot of extra resistance. Speaking of starting anything up, well, Baron has just been started. Remember, there's a Kalista Rent. This might already be gone.
Yeah, completely, and that's going to get taken out. That's Kareem who takes the Baron down here. 1-1-3, has the flash available. He's going to be flashing over the wall. Wagner has found to engage off to the side then. Reckless does get taken out. And New Q looks off the side here still. Might be a little bit something to say about it, but it's Go who find the Baron here a minute before Dragon. They're going to be staring down the Soul. It's unlikely they get in position for this, but they get the Baron, they get a kill, and I feel like that might be adequate compensation.
That's the thing, not even a minute. It's purely seconds before it. I think Karmine Corp, maybe they're still able to pick it up. You can see the minimap right now. Ghost members, they are making their way forward. Kareem doesn't have flash. If Blast Cone is available, maybe he can look for play. It's not, but Teleport is coming in. They're looking for the fight.
They've managed to find their way in here just seconds before Smiley baits call. They're all clumped up here. This could be a big knockup. 1-1-3's been found. This package from Seiken is going to dissuade them from going much further, but New Q, he's in the shroud now. Center ult Vigner dodges it, and it's great. They've stopped the Soul here. They get their second Dragon of the game, and Go are really starting to turn this game around, and Karmine Corp faltering like we've seen them falter many times before.
This was Karmine Corp's game to lose as well. Remember it, they were the one putting themselves on soul point up towards the top side. They take one bad fight. That fight gives Ronaldo and now New Q the agency to get those items that they didn't have in the past, just due to being starved away from a stellar early game from Karmine Corp. But now in the areas towards the late game, nothing seems stellar about the Karmine Corp play. It just seems like Go is taking control again and again and again, and they're fighting the plays. Very distinguished, no hesitation towards that Baron. They take it immediately, and now they're just looking for plays. They're sieging the bottom side.
Absolutely, we've talked about it so many times today, just in terms of this. One of the things about this Kalista is, although it can, I feel like it struggles a lot. We saw it in response to that Cassiopeia earlier. If you kind of seize it up, it struggles to kind of find its way around the field, but There's so much engage options and so hard to blow up. You can see it just dodges out of engage so easily here. 113 tries to go in, tries to find that three-pronged strike, but it's Nuku is continually pushing in, and Karmine Corp are getting just pushed around the map here, and they're going to get engaged on here. Nuku has a flank here, doesn't have that level 16 available. Teleport comes out, it is going to be Xin Zhao that drops as well. Nuku goes in here with the R1, tries to find a little bit more damage. He finds Reckless! What an E there! The Shuriken flip might have just flipped this game on its head. Ronaldo W's forward, going to try to take out Hantera, but no! Cabashard in response with a triple kill. Smiley is taken into the Guardian Angel here, and this looked like it could be such a good fight for Go. Nuku does such a good job to find Reckless here, but we couldn't quite see what happened at the beginning of this fight here. But it's Karmine Corp that find their victory.
Cabashard refusing to lose this game, and I think he shows that countless times. Remember, in the fight earlier as well, it was him and Hantera stopping Go from getting an early Baron. This time around again, finds the GA on Smiley and finds the team fight afterwards. Makes it even from what probably should have been a fight going in the favor of Go. Still, anyone's game apparently.
Absolutely back and forth, maybe the most back and forth affair that we've seen all day, Gulborg. And a day that's been kind of filled with a lot of one-sided affairs. I mean, you wouldn't have necessarily, you would have expected it. I feel like this game and the previous game, the more tightly contested matches of the day, and it's certainly been back and forth. 1 second you think Go, they've got their hands on the neck of this game, ready to strangle the life out of it. Here was the initial engage, Weidner goes in, but he just gets blown up by Seiken. Now here comes Nuki off to the side. Look at this E here, just threads the needle so well.
But also, you know, a few members refusing to tank that as well. I don't think they expected that to come in. Ronaldo, way too overhyped here, not expecting that he's not going to blow up Hantara immediately, and then Cabashard, he's just the one solidifying that fight there. I think the most potent team fight you can have for Go is when Viking goes in together with Nuku to find the extra mobility, but they're so split in that fight that it allowed Karmine Corp to react, and it allowed them to outplay some of the opposition.
Absolutely, and now they're in a position where we spoke about this game going late, how it gets to the point where Corki and Senna really just start to be more and more so online. Ronaldo gonna have to W away here. 1-1-3. They find the knock-up. That's an ultimate burn by Ronaldo, and there's just so much healing from Senna that you almost feel like now Nuku trying to find these flanks continuously, but Cabashard's doing a really good job here of accounting for them. Tripping flip over the wall. Oh my word, Stasis comes out. Karmine with a massive engage! R2 comes out, that's two people found immediately. Reckless has dropped down Seiken. Ronaldo's in the back of the pit. Here's Smiley as well. Smiley doesn't have that Guardian Angel available. If he drops, it could be dangerous. Hantera gets taken out as well. Cabashard in the Hex Drinker. And at the flip of the hat, Go, press the go button, and Karmine Corp get aced.
I can't believe it. Triple kill finally comes through, and what mechanical display of play coming through from Go. Again, we say it all the time. They like to rely on their skill, and most of the time it comes through from a hand diff. This time around, 18 seconds on Reckless, 17 on Karmine Corp at 1-1-3. I don't think they can end just yet, but they could be able to take care of some structures.
Quite long reset timers at least 20 seconds. You would imagine it's just the case they go for the inhibitor, then reset towards that dragon, get that third dragon, and then we're heading for the well, this is essentially what we think now is the penultimate dragon. Both teams gearing towards that sole point. Kareem going to be needing to get that reset off, get back onto the map. He's going to be rather delayed to this dragon, actually, if he's not getting that reset off quickly. This is where it started. We thought that these flanks were being accounted for by Nuku. He obviously can't go over here. But on this ward now, E immediately, and he finds the engage where you wouldn't have necessarily thought it. The Knight comes down from him. It means that 1-1-3 can't get that healing. And it's a massive E flash forward into the quickness, means that two members just immediately get taken out. And it was a 5v3 from this point onwards, Gulborg.
It definitely was, but even then, there's times where you feel like, is Cabashard going to take him all right here? I feel like he thinks that himself as well. He's not trying to get that slice and dice out of the pit. He's trying to use it forward, trying to get that Gore Drinker down, get some extra healing, and trying to find some kills. Unfortunately, not the case. Karmine Corp, though, in the picture-in-picture, I don't know how it just happened, but they were able to pick up the soul for themselves.
Definitely. It's a shame that we didn't quite get to see how that transpired, but I feel like one of the things that we set as a precursor to what unfolded then was the fact that Kareem was so late on the map in terms of getting back. He felt like he needed to make a decision between getting some of that Omnivamp from the Raptors or one of these camps, get a little bit of healing from the jungle, or just go for that reset. And there's always a danger that you don't get back on the map, and I feel like Karmine Corp definitely must have capitalized there.
Definitely must have. And now, lanes are being accounted for, Seiken up towards the top side, mid lane still being pushed in, but quite frankly, Jake, I don't think this is going to come down to lane rotation. I think it's all going to come down to one big team fight around some of these neutral objectives, and Karmine Corp, they're decisive, they're starting off the Baron.
Yeah, this package, look at how Seiken's used it here, just burning through, and You almost feel as if we go too late to this. The Baron goes down now. It's just a case of, can they chase it? You see Nuku's off to the side here. He's going to have to pick his targets very carefully. He's pincered now. It's a case of buying time for him now. Goes into the stasis. Wagner got stunned up in the quickness here. He's not going to be able to do anything. And Karmine Corp has snuck the Soul and the Baron with no punishment.
It just felt like we got into a game state where Go was going to dictate everything. And then all of a sudden, by the flip of a hat, as you said, Karmine Corp has just gotten everything on the map uncontested. We're not even talking about team fights. They're just walking in and taking it. Nothing is being gained in return. No pressure up towards the bottom side, towards that bot lane inhibitor turret. Nothing. It's just straight up theirs and they take it. Go now in a position where we thought they were ahead, but now we find them at a deficit.
Absolutely. And this just really is such a back and forth affair here. As Kabashard spotted Smiley. Smiley doesn't have flash. He's going to have to make a decision here. Has Nuku to help him out. Nuku has Ignite. But Smiley gets taken out here in GA as well. And what a Go doing?
I don't know what's happening. Everything's falling apart. Nuki now does have that ultimate and probably should be able to get away. But that's just your GA gone as well. That was what you needed for the big team fight, to buy more time for your teammates. You just went out and died on a side lane. Now, 5 members, Baron empowered minions, big wave as well, 1 cannon to work with. You have the Corki, you have the long range from center. Surely Karmine Corp are not going to look to end on this wave.
I mean, you can imagine with 36 seconds available, they've obviously got a mid lane wave to play for, have Go. But Karmine Corp knocking on the base here. Wagner's off to the side, has the quickness available. But Karmine Corp are just marching it into the base now. They're onto the turrets now. Kareem's tried to find an engage onto Hansera. Wagner has to press the go button here. Nuku's gone in, he's got taken out here. Here's the engaged Kareem, finds onto 4. But he gets taken out here and Go. It's a lapse in focus. It's a drop in attention. And at the drop of the hat, not even at the turn of a pin, they've thrown away the game here and they're giving it over to Karmine Corp. Karmine Corp are going to move over to 7 and 5 Corp.
It just felt like no one wanted this game, and then everyone wanted to go for it in a team fight. It's still not done. Smiley trying to do his best here, but 1 versus 4.
Kabashard's just going to do the last final touches to the painting that is Karmine Corp moving to 7 and 5. Go had all the questions and all the answers this game, but just at the end there, it's a small drop in attention. That Soul goes uncontested, that Baron does. Smiley